How you guys doing? Yes, we're on Age of Empires Mobile, and we're going to be doing some Mulan warrior testing. I know you guys have been wanting these testing videos, and I've got to give you a pre-warning. We're doing this on our real account. So yes, this did cost us some big, good old resources to do, but this is what we're going to do for you guys, right? So we're going to test Mulan against some of the other meta marchers. Let's see how good she does and give you guys some feedback on is that match really worth investing into on season 1. So big shout out to Mardex, obviously helping me out just doing these tests on the server, because we have obviously some T7 accounts here, so we've got max troops, and for the testing purposes what we've done, guys, is make sure that every hero has no gear, no rings, and I'll explain why in a moment when we break down the actual result from the report, right? So you can see there, Mardex, obviously versus Mardex, Mulan beating Miyamoto, right? Beating Miyamoto. We've got all the different reports here on screen, right? So if we look on the very first report, this is the one we've just watched, right? This is the Miyamoto, Tribuana, and Constantine versus a Mulan, obviously Attila, and Rane. And the thing is, the reason why we're not doing any sort of gear, any sort of signet rings is, obviously, players have a significant difference in investment levels, so his rings could be absolutely crazy compared to the other guy's rings, right? Let's just be honest. And when we're trying to figure out how good a march is just on the hero level, how good Mulan is, how good Attila is, we can't take out other outside sources that improve it even further. You just can't. I think that's just two separate things you need to do, right? So how's we're doing it? This is how we're doing our tests, right? And as you guys know, we did the same thing with the Elid lineup, and we're keeping it throughout the channel the same. So you got a 1.6 ratio here to 1 on obviously the Mulan. You can see the results: 1.5958, 10k, 6.3, 38.5, 24.6. So not too shabby. I'm going to be honest, not too shabby. And if you click on the heroes, we can see the build that they were running, right? So Miyamoto build that they were running for this was the High Spirit, which increases his activation chance, as well as Furious Charge. So every time he does that, he gets more and more might damage. That stacks over 5 times. So basically he hits like a truck. Some people do like this setup. There is an alternate one where you just take, instead of one of those skills, you take Earth Crush. This just is a little bit more extra damage, but slows them down. But this does technically hinder your activation chance, right? This obviously makes this skill not proc as often as you want, right? So it is up to you how you prefer it. I actually do like this build. I think it's a really good one. Going for more consistency on your main skill, which actually is the damage on there, right? Tribuana, we've got what I would expect: Righteous Judgment as well as Kingsblade. You don't need Righteous Judgment for most players, just to give you guys a little heads up. Fortification is kind of OP. People don't realize this. If you max this skill out, it is kind of absurdly good. And I might actually make a video on like the best 3 or 5 maybe epic skills that you could keep on certain heroes and explain why they're good. But Tribuana set up right there for you guys. And then if we go to the Constantine, we can see here his same setup is again High Spirit, activation chance increase, and then anytime we get recovering units, we reduce damage taken. So super tanky match. I'm going to be honest, super damn tanky. Good setup for the Miyamoto. But when we look at the Mulan setup, the way he was running his Mulan, double attack state, wow, with the Act of Mercy. And this is probably going to question a lot of people, because obviously a lot of people are running, including myself, the weak spot attack and Act of Mercy. But I do know the understanding of double attack here. Having that double attack does technically give you more trigger chances to actually fire off that skill with all of the buffs that you've got now through the Attila and through the Rane. So I 100% agree, and I get it, right? So it's interesting to see it being used, right? Here we've got Attila the Hunt almost maxed out. We've got 4 stars on this skill here. You can see pretty good actual setup, right, on Attila. And then if we go to Rane, again, it's pretty much the meta setup here. You've got Kingsblade with Warriors Hymn. If you want to go down that route, it's up to you, right? So really good little setup, so you guys can see what they were running for their skills. I know you guys probably were asking about that side of the build, so it's interesting. The one thing we can't do, unfortunately, because obviously we weren't participating in the test, I can't hit compare. And hopefully in the future, if there's an Age of Empires mobile dev watching this video, bro, girl, whoever you are, please let us compare everything. I want to be able to see each turn how much skill damage these guys were doing to each other, how many chances were activated, because that is very key knowledge that a lot of people will want to know, including myself. So this is the best we can do right now, guys, until we get the Pioneer test server again, right? Once we get that back, I can do some more testing all on my own again and give you guys the full leg down like we did with the Elid video, right? So now with that, let's actually move on to the next formation test and break it down, and let's see what Mulan can do against Hannibal. So we've got Hannibal, Justinian, and Ashoka, right? This is most likely the most meta combo you could be running for the Tactician Archers. It's a no-brainer. Some people do run Cleo instead, and that's a fine choice. And I know people got upset that I did her dirty on my tier list, and I'm going to address it in the future, don't worry. But you can see there the result of Hannibal versus the good old Mulan. And the thing is, I'm going to be transparent. I messed up and I didn't record the first video or the first duel of them. So this report we've got on screen right here is one of those reports, which you can see you got 1007, 1.5, 6, 7 to 10k, right? And you can see again these heroes, but if we scroll down, I know we've got one there, don't worry, that's another one. But if we come to this one, it's again that match, and that is the video you just watched. So in that scenario, you got 791, 1.5, 5.2, 10, 20.3. It's so much better, right? And the reason why it is, it's all about activation chances on your heroes. And the thing is, when you look at the Hannibal setup, he's running what I would expect. The double attack, really good setup with crushing impact, just so you reduce the enemy's might even further, so you absolutely crush them. You've got the Justinian. This can be replaceable if you need to, if you don't have him somehow. But again, same with Ashoka, you could replace him again if you don't have him. I think this match purposely is built like this. I'm sorry, I know you guys love Cleo, but the more I look at this match, it's just so much better, right? This is doing so much better. The fact that you're increasing your damage, you're reducing your damage taken for 1 second when any hero in your troop activates their secondary strike skills. And that's what's crazy. Your Hannibal is helping this trigger so often. And then you've got the Ashoka down here, obviously giving you the immunity. And on top of that, obviously, we've got the double attack, like I said, Crushing Impact. You've got Crushing Impact with, obviously, the Peaceful Heaven, so you've got more reduced damage taken. But then Ashoka with the King's Blade, right? Or not the King's Blade, the Raw Victory, should I say, to give you the increased rage. So this is allowing you to actually turn cycle quicker, allowing you to actually get the double attacks off even more consistently, allowing the Justinian to go even further. So honestly, absolutely cracked lineup if you're wondering what he were running. Justinian not 5 stars though in this setup. Just remind that, not 5 stars compared to obviously our full 5-star lineup here on the Archers. I think that was a no-brainer. I think all of you guys did expect Hannibal to beat her. And if you guys are wondering as well, yes, a Lubu can beat your Mulans. But just remember, Lubu is a glass cannon march. It's basically the same as a Mulan march. Pure damage with no sort of sustain or survivability. So just be aware of that in the future. Comparing it to the Hannibal march here, that is got an amazing burst damage too, but it has utility, and that utility is what gives it an edge over a lot of other marches in the future. So with that, let's move on to another cavalry march that we got to check out. So we do have another good old cavalry setup, and I had to include it because obviously you guys really enjoyed the video. Elid. How good is Elid against Mulan? I'm gonna be honest, it's disgustingly good. It is so good. Like, it just does too much damage to a Mulan match, right? And when we go into the report here, right, if we see this one, this is the one I was saying we had to skip. A little bit of a spoiler there, right, earlier on. 302 losses, 2 key grave wounds. Guys, stop hating on Bushra. I know many of you guys want to hate on Bushra, but guys, this disarm is so powerful against the Mulan. It is what is honestly winning this fight. On top of the Taric now, obviously giving you the extra chances and damage towards the Elid. No, we didn't test out Elid, YSG, and Bushra. We didn't test that match out. And I know in my video, and I do still stand by it, I think Elid, YSG, and Bushra is more powerful than the Taric, just because of the combination of skills you can have on YSG. And maybe we can do a video on that. Put it in the comments down below if you want me to make a video all about YSG and potentially why I do really like him and how he could be a solid choice in the future, which is very scary too. But look at the ratio on this, right? 1 to 5. It's a 1 to 5 ratio. If we look at the other reports we've had so far, you got a 1 to 1.5 ratio. You look up here, we've got again 1.6 to 1 because they lost it this time, right? And if you go below to the other Hannibal match, we have a 1 to 1.9. So it is absurd how good that Elid match does. And another kind of thing I want to talk about with the Elid match, guys, is the fact that Elid does apply that slowdown effect, right? So in the open field, when you slow down those targets, guys, you're gonna be doing even more damage. And it's a guaranteed damage strike. And it means your other allies can chase down that target too and kill them, right? So fleeing isn't an option against Elid. Really good match. Really, really good match, right? And this is with the Taric. So if you guys were investing in Taric and you were scared and you're thinking, oh no, Taric's bad, but YSG is good, I'm going to stop doing, you know, Taric for YSG. This still showcases, look, Taric has his place. It just isn't the same as what a YSG can do. And we might, like, I might actually make a full video on it. I might make a full video on it. The one I'm talking about it, right? So with that, let's do our final ones, because we do have here 2 reports, and these reports were the most interesting actual ones out of it all, because we expected this report here to be that report at the top. And I'm gonna wait for you guys to guess who you think this is. So, have you guessed it yet? Have you guys guessed it? Before we line it up, yes, it's your boy Richard, and this absolutely caught us off guard, because here showcases Richard and what pikemen truly are about, right? Because here we've got Richard going against the Mulan, and as you expect, or as many would have expected, the Mulan wins, right? The Mulan wins and absolutely decimates it, right? However, that is the defeat report. This is where we can see Richard, Leo, and Barbarossa all together, right, fighting against it. And you got a 1.3 to 1 ratio. Actually, really good compared to even the others matches. Like, really good trade-off for this, right? But when we look at the other report, yes, it beat it. It absolutely beat the Mulan match. And the only reason this match beat the Mulan match this second time around was because of activation chances. And that is where I kind of want to leave this video once we break down the skills that we're running on this match setup on, because we don't know how effective, especially me. I know I could ask Mardex to send me the report, and I know he would in screenshots, and a big shout out for him to helping make this video for you guys. And I hope you guys appreciate the efforts we do to try and test these videos and test these matches and actually bring you information live for you guys. But here is all about activation chances, and the thing is, yes, we've got the Barbarossa who's going to give you tankiness in the match, but all the damage is coming from your Leo and the Richard, and it is all about when hit by a normal attack, there's a 20% chance. There's a 20% chance, right? And that is very, very important, because if you are lucky and you hit the 20 and then you wait and you hit the 20 again and again, of course, this is going to do an absurd amount of damage. But that is kind of like flipping the coin like 10 times and you call in heads 10 times. It's unrealistic, right? So I want to know your thoughts on it, right? Richard, with your Leo, and this is the Leo skills for you guys who are wondering: Whirlwind Sweep with the Fearless Retribution, and then we've got Barbarossa with the Peaceful Heaven, and again Tenacity, just to give you a bit more recovery. Wow, just wow. What are your thoughts? Are you guys actually gonna put Richard a little bit higher? Are you gonna give him a little bit more credit, or are you gonna give Pikeman a little bit more credit? Because a lot of people, honestly, from what I have heard, experienced, right, in game, in the community, people don't like the pikemen. They just prefer running either archers, maybe infantry, or the cavalry. Honestly, it sounds weird, I know. Even though pikemen are friendly and people use them, they would prefer the other 3 units, which is very strange to me, right? But here is an argument. Maybe in game right now, Richard, Leo, and Barbarossa, maybe you don't need the 5-star Barbarossa, especially when you get the Boudica, is going to be an absolute monster of a warrior pikeman match that you guys can be super, super excited about. So big shout out to Mardex here. Thank you for honestly helping me just, test these commanders out for you guys. If you guys want us to test more, put in the comment section down below who you want to be tested next in the video lineup. To give you guys some excitement, we do have the next one ready. We're going to do King Arthur testing, and we might have to do it in a 2-parter where we do King Arthur as infantry, all the infantry formations against him, right? Or part 2, where it's his cavalry setup. How good is his cabs against everything again, right? So we're going to do that. Once we've done that, let us know. We're going to do happily any of these different heroes in Age of Empires Mobile. Just remember, this is costing us real resources, real healing, and dead troops on our main account in order to do any of this testing. And that's why I've been a little bit hesitant, guys, and a little bit slow on releasing these videos, because I honestly want to do it on the test server where it doesn't cost anyone, it doesn't harm anyone's account, and because obviously I want to just help the community. So if you've enjoyed the video, you know what to do, guys. Slap a like, smash the subscribe button, share the video about it. It's been a pleasure, like always. Leaving the outro here with King Arthur to get you guys excited for the next lineup testing video. If you found this obviously insightful, let me know in the comment section down below. If you want us to do the testing a little bit differently, let us know again down in the section down below. And with that, thank you for watching. So until the next one, stay safe, guys, stay sneaky, peace out.